When Java evaluates an arithmetic expression, it follows a particular order of operations when it evaluates sub-expressions. That order is multiplication and division followed by addition and subtraction. Let me give you an example. Let's create a variable and assign it an arithmetic expression as its value, 3 plus 4 times 5. Now let's display that so we can see what the compiler assigns to number. Before I compile and run this, let's guess what it's going to be. If you followed a strict left to right order of operations, you would say that the 3 and the 4 are added together to give 7, and then the 5 is multiplied by that 7 to give 35. However, if you follow the order of operations of the compiler, it's going to perform the multiplication first, 4 times 5, and then add 3 to that. So let's see what we get. Save the file, then compile it, and then run it. And we see that we do get 23. And again, that's because the compiler followed the order of operations where multiplication is performed before addition. If we want to modify that order of operations, all we have to do is put parentheses around those sub-expressions that we want evaluated first. So for this example, if we want the result to be 35, in other words, if we want the 3 and the 4 to be added together first before the multiplication, then all we do is put parentheses around the 3 and the 4, and then we can run the program again. So let's save it, recompile, run it again, and there we see that the result is 35. Strictly speaking, the actual order of operations in Java is parentheses, then exponentiation, then multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. So we already see that the parentheses have a higher order of precedence than multiplication. Because the parentheses were placed around the 3 and the 4, the addition was performed before the multiplication. We don't have an exponent or an exponentiation operator in Java, so we really can't count that or even demonstrate how it works. We're going to look at how to do exponentiation in another lesson in this chapter when we talk about the math library. So actually, for our purposes, the order of operations is parentheses, multiplication, division, and then addition and subtraction when we're talking just about the operators. Later I'll show you how we can work the exponentiation function into this discussion. Let's look at one more example. Let's say that we wanted to perform a division of two sub-expressions and then assign that to number. So for example, we might want 10 minus 2 divided by 14 plus 3. Now, first of all, the one problem I see with that is this is going to lead to a fractional result. So one thing I need to do is I need to change my data type to double. And the other thing I need to do to make this work correctly, I need to make at least one number in each part of this expression be a floating point number. Now, if we run this program as is, it's going to perform the division first, 2 divided by 14, then subtract that result, and then add 3. That's not what we want to do. We want the numerator divided by the denominator, so what we have to do is we put parentheses around the whole numerator sub-expression, and then parentheses around the denominator sub-expression. Let's save and compile, and then run it, and you see we get 0.4705, and so on. In the exercises at the end of this chapter, we're going to enter more formulas for practice, and we'll demonstrate more about how the order of operations works. But this was a brief overview to just get you comfortable with the idea that there is an order of operations for the arithmetic operators, and the compiler follows them strictly. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about how to create what used to be called constants, or what are still called constants in other languages, but are called finals in Java, and that's a variable whose value is set and can never be changed.